Hi, I'm Alan. In this video, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to more Drum Rush. Today, we're going to be talking a little bit about the Apocalyptic Trilogy, the quote-unquote hardest 2.1 level, because 2.2 is coming around, so we can actually say that now. I would love to play this for myself, to give this opinion, but we're going to be talking about the gameplay today. Damn, I forgot about my joke intro that I was going to do. I was going to be like, whoa, it's Aeon, because Woolsey already made this video, right? But Woolsey talked about it from the perspective of a creator, looking at the level and if it is really good. I'm going to be talking about the gameplay because I have a lot of things to say. I think I have a different perspective than a lot of other people. Hopefully, if I don't, then I'll sound conceited. But that's besides the point. I want to be talking a little bit about it, share my thoughts and opinions about it, because I do think there are some things that are reason for worry, and I do think this level has a lot of potential. So we're going to be checking out the preview, and we're going to be, or showcase rather, we're going to be taking a look. Obviously, I'm going to be linking the video and Zimnyte in the description. Shout out Zimnyte. They did a fantastic job on this. For anything, before I'm going to be criticizing this level, because I am going to be criticizing the level a little bit, I do think this level is really cool. I really like the level. I think it looks fantastic, and I will admit, I do think this level is a massive step up for the APTeam, because previously APTeam has been criticized heavily for being very corporate, especially with Cosmic Cyclone and Sonic Wave Infinity. I do not think that is present in this level. I think this is a very classic, nice mega collab in the sense that it doesn't feel like it's just one creator who has slight deviations. It feels like every single part has put some personality into it from each creator to make it seem like an authentically great level, and I really like that. But that's beside the point. Let's hop into it. This level is Cataclysm and Bloodbath and Aftermath all in one. So clearly that means that this level is going to be great, right? Cataclysm, Bloodbath, and Aftermath are all fun levels, but the problem that I have is one thing that I will comment on, and the thing that I'm the most worried about when it comes to this level is if we go like here, right, is that this level keeps the original structuring of Cataclysm, Bloodbath, and Aftermath. Problem with that is that they do not have a gameplay hard enough for a top one. Meaning that because they're sticking with the structuring to keep it as true to the original as possible, as you can hear, there's just a bunch of added spikes. Here as well, it's just a bunch of added spikes. This part admittedly does look pretty easy, but there's like a bunch of open spots. And then you have random stuff like this, which is like super impossible. My worry is essentially that this level is going to have some incredibly forced difficulty. Because as you can see here, this is just the same as always. Like, these gaps are huge. These are massive gaps. People are going to be getting far on this level very quickly. But then you have like random stuff like this where it's like suddenly much hyper buffed, right? You have stuff like this ball part, which other than this one random saw blade, which I have no idea why is there to begin with. It looks really out of place. It looks almost identical to how it was. But then you have this ball part, which is like hyper buffed by the added spikes. And it's like, my worry is that the buffing has been done kind of like a second thought. There's a second thought behind a lot of the buffs that makes the level feel like difficulty is just a byproduct of let's try and make this as hard as possible, right? It doesn't feel natural. I feel like as much as people have been hyping this up as like the ultimate top one, and a lot of people want this to be the hardest 2.1 level, and people have been looking forward to it for years, I kind of worry that it will suffer greatly on the fun scale because they're trying so hard to make it absurdly difficult, right? Like, this looks like it's basically the exact same, maybe a little bit tighter, but then you have stuff like this where it's like that is much harder, but then the next click is like super easy, and the click afterwards is also super easy. Like, it feels like what has been chosen to be buffed seems very arbitrary. Obviously, I don't know because I haven't seen any of the actual buffs. I don't know any of the buffs in the level. I don't know what has specifically been buffed. But from just looking at it, it feels very arbitrary what has been chosen to be buffed. So far, we're 40% into Cataclysm, and only a few things seems to have been buffed, meaning that getting to this part of the level is going to be super easy. And this ball part, which, by the way, I will comment, I think this part kind of butchered piano part in Cataclysm, like one of the most iconic parts of all time ever created. This doesn't do it justice. Anyway, I digress. As you can see here, the random addition to like crazy spikes here makes this so hard. But then that's really it. Like, the rest of the part doesn't seem that bad. A lot of it just seems very much the same. It's like, why buff those first 4 clicks and then leave the rest to be like almost like, obviously there's not the same, it's still buffed, but to me, looking at it from the perspective of someone who's pretty decent at the game, feels like this is gonna be ridiculously chokepoint here. I really hope they let Trick balance it out quite a lot, right? Because from what I can tell, a lot of it does seem like the difficulty is very sporadic. Like, this doesn't look hard at all. I'm gonna be real with you. Unless these hitboxes right here are fixed, this part is literally just a freebie. Dying here is gonna be the you're gonna hit yourself in the head and be like, I'm so stupid. And it's like, I don't know how I feel about it. I really truly want this level to be fantastic. That's why I'm making this video to begin with. Obviously, again, I'm gonna reiterate, I haven't played the level. I don't know for a fact that this is the case, right? For all I know, everything is like hyper buffed and everything feels impossible anyway. But from the perspective of someone who wants this level to be great, because I love the Apocalyptic Trilogy, the actual levels, I love Cataclysm, I love Bloodbath, Aftermath, we're gonna talk about Aftermath, but it's not a terrible level. I really want this level to be good because I would love to see myself try this one day, because it seems like something I would enjoy. But I have concerns, and that's why I'm voicing this, because if someone voices concerns about things feeling like it's been arbitrarily buffed without intent, maybe they will listen to it and make it better, right? With this wave part, I feel like most of it just feels natural. It's just very tight wave gaps, which perfectly fine, right? This part I really like, because it actually feels like a part that is naturally difficult, because it was made outside of the original levels. So the gameplay itself doesn't feel that forced, right? Some of it does, I will admit, but for the most part, it seems like it's good, right? I'm kind of interested in seeing how this will affect, because this seems very, very much harder. This Stray Fly looks absolutely nuts, especially stuff like this, where the small spikes have significantly harder hitboxes. I think this part is going to be very rough. It's going to be exciting to see, though. I'm very looking forward to it. But then you have stuff like this click. Everything else here seems perfectly fine, other than maybe this spike. But this part right here just feels natural. But then you have this random ass one like Tartarus click right here, hardest shit ever created. But then everything else is like super easy, right? And this part as well, it just does not seem that hard. Like, this seems like it's barely, probably potentially even easier than what it is in Bloodlust, which is kind of impressive, I'm not gonna lie. But a lot of it just feels like they buffed like specific things a lot more than everything else. When it comes to Vermilion's ball part, I think this is probably one of the most naturally buffed parts. Well, one of the parts that feel like it just makes the most sense that it got buffed the way it was. But that's just because ball timings are very easy to buff, right? So that part, I think, good. That's how it should be. But I don't think it holds up to top one, unless some of the hitboxes are like really messed up. Michigan's part did not need to be buffed. I'm not gonna lie. This part did not need buffing, but what do I know? These extra spikes, this part is probably going to be much harder. Like, I can already see myself squealing at the thought of passing this part. These extra spikes, I don't think you guys notice, but the hitbox ends like here normally, right? And you can land right here. But with these spikes, there's a hitbox protruding right about here. You have to go like super duper late. You can't go too late, right? So this is like, I would assume maybe like a 6 or 7 frame window on 360, which is very, very small. These could very well be 60 hertz frame perfects for all I know, because of just the extra little hitbox garbage here, right? Which, not necessary. It doesn't look like the UFO is buffed, thankfully, but hey. I really like Evasion's part. I think Evasion's part looks good. Like, this is how naturally it should be buffed. I do find it funny, however, that these gaps are easier than they are in Bloodlust. Probably because they realize that the gaps in Bloodlust are stupid. But then, like, this, like, is this click necessary, right? I'm coming off as so negative. I'm so sorry about that. I just have a lot of passion for this level because I want it to be as good as possible, right? Is this click really necessary? Is this micro click really necessary? Like, remove this spike, bro. Like, this little micro click right here is just there to be annoying, right? Just, I don't know. Maybe I'm just old school, but this doesn't feel like it's necessary to me. Again, there's an arbitrary buff that just doesn't make sense when you could just keep this. This gap already is way harder than it needs to be. And it doesn't necessarily mean that this gap right here gets easier. You still have to go through here, right? So like having this micro click is just like, why? Other than that, though, I think Evasion's part is probably one of the best like buffed parts. Same with Crack's part. Crack's part, by the way, looks absolutely awesome. I really like this part visually. But Crack's part does feel very natural in the way it's buffed, and I do like that. I think that's a very good way to do it. Same with Asonic. I think Bloodbath, just generally speaking, has some of the most, like, what seems to me, at least from an outsider perspective, has some of the most naturally buffed parts. This click looks absolutely terrifying because normally the spike would be this small spike and it would be all the way on the side here, and same with this one, all the way on the side. This click looks like it would be really, really hard. Wait. Yeah, so you have like the hitbox like here, maybe. You have a lot more space there than you think, actually. Yeah, then that's fine. I was like, oh, that looks really tough, but it really, maybe not. This screen looks sick, by the way. I just want to comment on that real quick. This screen looks so cool. Anyway. This is what I like a lot about keeping true to the original, though, with the orb here. I do like how they kept this and that they made like a little path upwards. But it also goes back to the whole, like, because of how true it stays to the originals, is the gameplay really gonna be good? And I think that's a lot of worry for a lot of people. Obviously, good gameplay. Who cares about that? There's going to be like 10 people ever who are good enough to play this level anyway, right? As someone who wants to play it, yeah. But as you can see here, they removed the no flip part where you can land on the ground in Etzer, which I think is cool. I think that's cool. That's interesting. That's a good take on it. This part looks really hard. I don't know what they were thinking about this part, but this part to me looks like 20 times harder than the past like 5 parts. This might just be a massive choke point. Maybe I'm coping or something because I'm bad at wave. But again, this just feels like, it feels like the balancing hasn't really been thought out that well, which to me is mind-boggling, right? Like with a level like this, you would think that the balancing is like, they've worked relentlessly on making the gameplay and balancing as good as possible. But then you see garbage clicks like this. It's not garbage, but you get what I mean. Like you have to land on that and then immediately go down. That looks so hard. That looks ridiculous because you don't have a lot of space to land on this corner, right? Then you also have to land enough on the corner where you don't hit the spike. It's just how, right? And then we have Aftermath. I think the Aftermath parts, by the way, look awesome. This part specifically, the eyeball, insane. So cool. But yeah, here we are again with a part that just doesn't look like it's that hard. Like these are very massive gaps. The gaps here are just huge. This does not seem like it's been buffed whatsoever. It doesn't seem like it's been touched other than that one click, right? Like this entire section doesn't seem like it's been touched except for this click. Like what the hell is this click? It's, you get what I mean, right? This is what I'm trying to get at. Like most of this part just seems like it's been untouched except for like individual inputs. I really hope that I'm wrong, by the way. I just want to mention that real fast. I truly do hope that I'm completely wrong about this, and the parts that I think just look easy is just visually, they just visually look easy because again, I haven't played the level, couldn't get my hands on a copy of it, but there are just I'm just so slightly worried. I really hope this level is gonna be awesome because truthfully, APTeam does not have a great track record on great gameplay. Sonic Wave Infinity, Cosmic Cyclone. I know a lot of people who do not like Cosmic Cyclone, but no, I think this level looks sick. I really want to play it. I'm so hoping that this level is going to be awesome because I genuinely do think that this has so much potential to be great. I will say though, with all the negativity surrounding the arbitrary things that I just see while looking at the thing here, this level is so cool. Visually it's awesome. I think Zimnyte and his team did a fantastic job and I'm really looking forward to it. The reason I'm making this video, if Zimnyte is watching or ND is watching, is that I just want a ton of care and love to be put into the gameplay, because as someone who really thoroughly likes Cataclysm, Bloodbath, and to an extent Aftermath gameplay wise, I really hope that it's not so forced difficulty wise that it just feels off. And I really hope that you take a look at everything and make sure that everything is buffed rather equally, just so we have a level that is genuinely fun, because the core gameplay of the 3 levels are fun. It's just a matter of don't mess up the buffing process. When it comes to buffing, it is so easy to just lose track of what is and what isn't harder than the rest, and you end up with incredibly bad choke point. That is my worry. I'm so worried that there's going to be insane choke points because just from looking at it, obviously, again, I haven't played the level, but just from looking at it, there are individual inputs and individual segments that look like they have been buffed significantly more than others. I assume because of the fact that creators themselves buffed the parts and it has not been gone through proper playtesting yet, which I really truly hope we get. I would love to see this level come to fruition and be one of, if not just the best top 1 we ever had. I really truly hope that it can be, and I'm very looking forward to it. Good luck, Trick. Obviously, good luck, Trick, for verifying, and congratulations to Zimnyte and ND for finishing off the project. It's very exciting. Again, no hard feelings with this video. I just want to air my thoughts just so you have some pointers from a person who is very much looking forward to playing this. So yeah, I'll see you guys around. Eat your greens to healthy, stay hydrated, think when you might have better, hope yours a little bit better too. And I'll see you guys later. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I would appreciate it. And subscribe to ND and Zimnyte and Trick, who I will leave in the description. Thank you so much. Peace out, everyone.